Hey, what's going on there, folks? Good morning, good afternoon to those out there. It is Monday, May 29, 2023, Memorial Day. If you do have a 3-day weekend out, definitely a good thing, right? Day to remember and honor, of course, all those brave souls and heroes who serve to hold the flag high in this country. Thank you for your service there, Memorial Day. Well, what do we have going on here for earthquake activity on this fine Monday? Well, let's zoom into the Big Island, see what's going on here. I was watching this last night with a pretty good earthquake swarm around the Kilauea volcano. It looks like it's tapered off slightly there across the Big Island. Still some movement here south of the crater area. Most of the movement around the Pahala area south, but also a little bit of activity up around the Mauna Loa region with a 2.2. This one 10 kilometers deep though. A little bit of activity kicking up there today. We're going to go ahead and check out the volcano hazards here across Kilauea Volcano. Run over to this site where you can monitor and check out Webby quarters, tilt meters, and whatnot. And of course, it shows the earthquake activity here on the map as well. Tilt meters, as you can see, past 2 days or so. See if I can get that to key up. It always, for whatever reason, wants to do it on the second time. This goes back to about the end of April. Notice the inflationary tilt gradually increasing here up until this date. That's an indicator of some magma pressure below. Earthquake activity continues to be elevated as well. This is the past 12 hours of earthquake activity here at Kilauea Volcano, continuing to show what looks like some type of harmonic tremor or magma movement here in this type of broad signature on the graph. Earthquake activity, of course, is going to be well defined, spiky. If they're large enough, similar to this one, then it will be in this type of fashion. But I definitely say over the past 12 hours, we've got probably a good 30 or 40 earthquakes listed up there on the map. USGS showing 7. All right, backing out of here. Let's see, up into the Alaska region, the Aleutian Trench. Looks like a little bit of movement overnight here along the Aleutian Trench area. Nothing spectacular going on. Mostly 1s and maybe some 2s out there. Let's see what we got for the activity. 2.5 and above. Looks like 3.4 King Cove. Rat Island's a 3.9. I think that's going to be about the largest one out here, and the most recent, early this morning, about 6 o'clock or so. 62 kilometers deep here into the subduction zone. The states out here along the west coast, this is 2.5 and above. Looks like a little bit of activity in northern Cal. Also down here around the Nevada area. Let's bring up the all magnitudes map here. It doesn't really give too much more on the map for the northern California area. Although down here along the Bay region of the San Andreas Fault, getting a little swarming here around the Pinnacles area and the Ridgemark region. That looks like kind of little elevated activity over the past couple days. Nothing major, but it could be a sign of pointing towards something building in that area. Further down south, a little spotty. Not a whole lot going on here across Southern California. Very typical, though, in any given day, about 33 earthquakes. That's very standard for earthquake activity out here. No major swarms, no major unusual activity to note there. Into the Idaho area, did have a 2.9. Southern Idaho? Southern Idaho. Wow, I didn't know they called this Southern Idaho up here. So I don't know. Well, maybe there's a line up here that the folks there in Idaho consider south and north. I don't know. Not too familiar with the Idaho area, but okay. 2.9 looks like just off the Sawtooth Fault system over here. There's a couple other faults that run near the Bitterroot Range. Yellowstone National Park, not showing anything, but you know me, I definitely need to. I want to be proven that it's not showing any activity. And let's see here, Maple Creek. Why does this look similar to yesterday? Hold on a second here. Make sure we got the most recent information. 529, 1900, right? A little bit past 1900, I believe. Yeah. So this is correct. little bit of small microquake activity, it looks like. There's the storms from last night. There was thunderstorms. We'll see if this actually kind of looks like it's building up again today here. I'm not really seeing any earthquake activity, but these thunderstorms, they pop up and they create some outside noise. Let me show you guys, see if we're going to have anything out there today. Satellite view. It's a little early, but they should be getting going here. Up in that area, looks like they're just starting to fire up around the region. Wind's picking up. Might start to get a few lightning strikes here soon within the next hour or so, as that daytime heating contributes to the convection of earthquake activity or lightning activity here in this region. All right, let's see what else we got. Rest of the country, goodness, there's not a whole lot going on there, folks. Looks very similar to last night. The Puerto Rico area, 3.3 in the Mona Passage region. Been a little bit of elevated movement here across this area over the last week or so. As you can see on the map, more specifically right here on the plate boundary itself. Kind of watching that. Nothing major going on yet. Further down south into the South America region, getting a trail of earthquake activity. Mostly deep movement quakes here into the Peru-Chile Trench. Latest one shows a 4.9 underneath the Argentina area at 120 kilometers deep. Now the EMSC model here will show some of the smaller quakes, and it looks like we're seeing a little bit around the Chile area there in the smaller white color rings, indicating some minor earthquake activity. Middle America Trench region here, looks like some 2s and 3s and even a 4.2 along that area. Nothing going on south. Looks like a little bit of movement here around the New Zealand area, not showing up here on the USGS map. So let's go to the GeoNet servers here real quick and see what we have. 3.6, there it is, 4 hours ago. South Island area, extreme South Island. Let's see if this is, I'm sure it was felt by, hey, one person. One person reported that, 3.6. So let's check out the earthquake drums here and see what it did to the seismographs here down on the South Island area. There it is. Not a big one. To me, that doesn't even look like a three-pointer. But that's what the GeoNet is reporting there, 3.6. Aside from that, not seeing too much earthquake activity out there to chat about across New Zealand. Around the Vanuatu area, looks like a 5.2 early this morning, 53 kilometers deep. Also some activity across the Banda Sea region here along this plate boundary in the Indonesia area. Quite a few fours kicking off here. There is a, looks like a 4.8 just coming in to the earthquake 3D globe here. Notice that? Pretty deep. That's a, wow, over 600 kilometers deep. 629 kilometers deep for a 4.8 that's just coming in by the EMSC model. So we'll have to see if this gets updated or not. Either way, that is a extremely deep earthquake for this area. USGS not picking up on it yet, but they will eventually. A little bit further movement around the Philippines and also up here around the Andaman Sea area. Looks like one of those from today. That's going to be the Philippines over here. 11 kilometers here into the region. As far as earthquake activity northward off the Java Trench, most of this is from yesterday. Mediterranean area looking slightly elevated today, spread out from Turkey westward here across the Mediterranean, 3s and 2s. The Atlantic Ocean, nothing going on out there in the divergent boundaries of the oceanic crust. Oh, did that get, looks like it got upgraded here to a 5.2 and even deeper. Goodness, you guys see that? Wasn't it like a 4, wasn't that just a 4.8? So yeah, 5.2, 652 kilometers deep. That's, I don't know if that's right or not. That's almost down there at 700 kilometers. They're still showing here though there we go. 5.2, 652 kilometers. But remember, this is all computer data putting together the numbers that are being received from several different seismograph stations with the focal mechanisms in mind, the magnitudes of all the stations in mind, and also the depth and location. There's a lot to that preliminary earthquake data system that it's got to input and then spit out a number here after it does so. So right now, 5.2, 652 kilometers deep. I think that'll get revised. We'll see if the USGS picks up on it or not. It may take them a little while, so we're not going to wait all day for that. But far as earthquake activity goes, folks, that's probably about it. Not seeing anything major aside from this deep earthquake. If that is indeed the case, with that level, we definitely need to watch this region that has been seeing heightened activity here across the Loyalty Islands area for some further movement. If that doesn't take place in this area, then we're watching the regions Papua New Guinea. And did you guys see that? That was weird. I wasn't even touching the mouse, really, just barely, and it just kind of backed out. Not for sure what's going on. Ghost in the Machine. I think I've seen that movie a long time ago. Ghost in the Machine. All right. Yeah, so we'll watch this area. I was just in the process of saying watch this area of Papua New Guinea back to where the deeper quakes are. It's been relatively quiet here with off and on activity on either side. So just keep that in mind. Let's see. Are we still here? Looks like we are. Let's check out space weather activity. Solarham.net. 99% chance for a C flare, M flare at 40, 10% chance for an X flare, and I believe that's just due to the somewhat complex structure of the sunspots, which 3315 looks as though harbors that most potential for some flaring. Although today there's a couple newer sunspots up here, it looks like, or maybe some older regions that are showing a little bit of enhanced areas. Not anything drastic yet, but it looks like they are growing, these two little sunspots. And also, aside from 3315 here, which still looks like it's getting a little bit of unstable areas here around this sunspot region core. Watch that area right there. But also there's a newer sunspot here, which is, let's see if it's been named yet. It hasn't. Look at that. Last night it was just this little bitty blip here, and as we look at the most recent image today, it's grown drastically. You guys see that? So this is a growing, developing sunspot region with a little bit of complex cores in there, all together clustered. It has not been named yet, but watching that one pretty closely, it is growing fairly drastically. Around the bend here, eastern limb of the sun, we got a different number of sunspots to watch. One of these was flaring last night. We're flaring last night, way out on the eastern limb. Couldn't even see it. Now we got a little bit of visible structure here that we can see, but overall we don't really know yet until we get a good solid visual of it. But they're coming around the bend. So nothing major going on for the auroras, folks, unfortunately. That's just what it is right now. No major coronal holes facing us. We'll just hope for the CME activity to kick up here in the week ahead and see what these new sunspots have to offer us here on planet Earth. Storm Prediction Center today shows a little bit of slight risk, severe weather potential up into the Nebraska area. Looks like that's about the only region, though. And 2% chance for tornado probability. Main threat looks to be wind and hail. But either way, this whole area out here that's in the lightly shaded green has a good thunderstorm potential, it looks like today. Looking at the areas on the map, of course, that includes Yellowstone. So we'll watch for that noise up there again that shows up on the Yellowstone seismograph stations. That's not earthquake activity. That's not magma. Don't let anyone tell you that. But these thunderstorms, when the wind blows and the thunder rolls, it does make quite a bit of noise across these seismograph stations there. Anywhere, it doesn't matter if it's Yellowstone or Tucson, Arizona, it will still pick up on a Webby quarter. That's just how they are. So a good portion of the country getting some rainfall today, including out here in Northern California. We'll see, though. It's been a little spotty with thunderstorms mostly out in the mountains. And, I guess we'll take that. As long as it brings with it some rainfall. We haven't had any fires, fortunately. We've had a good wet winter, and there's still snow up in the mountains there. So I'm hoping we won't even have a fire season. I don't like that word, fire season. Never used to be like that. There never was a fire season. So hopefully the rain comes and keeps that at bay. But for the most part, looks like a nice rainy day for a few folks out there. Enjoy the Memorial Day weekend if you do have it off. 3-day weekend. We'll catch you guys back here a little bit later tonight, folks. Have a good one.